Hello everyone, my name is Serge and welcome to another Epic 7 video. For today, we're going to be going over the Alchemist'sSteeple. We'll be taking a look at what the best building upgrades are, what each section is for, how to use them, etc. So, if you have been looking at this feature in the game and constantly wonder, what the hell is this for? Then make sure to stick around to find out everything you need to know about it. As always, if you would like to keep up with anything and everything Epic 7 related, subscribe to the channel and like the video if you found it helpful. But enough about that, let's jump in. So the building improvements I would 100% recommend are the following. First, the laboratory. So you can gain access to all of the features within the Alchemist'sSteeple. Then the ingredient storage, so that you don't need to offer a ton more resources that you would have to otherwise in order to get the best returns. And you'll see what I mean once we move on to each one of the laboratory sections. Then, as far as the Alchemy Academy, I wouldn't really recommend investing in it at all, since the gold cost decrease isn't really that big of a deal, and you're better off using your Breath of Orbis elsewhere. With that out of the way, let's take a look at the laboratories. Up first is the Charms one. This one is by far one of the most useful ones. It's a great way of producing charms. Do keep in mind this resets weekly. Here we have the random equipment and accessory charms. These two are essentially the same thing, except of course, one produces charms for equipment and the other for accessories. Now for these ones, you have to offer pieces of gear as quote-unquote ingredients to then produce a random set of charms. The higher the level and rarity gear, the more it counts towards the quality grade. This is obviously much easier for players who get higher levels of fodder gear on the regular, but if you're more of a newer player, don't be discouraged, since you can still totally offer up low level and rarity gear and at least reach the normal level of quality. Don't be like me and not use this feature at all, simply because you can't reach the highest level. Using fodder in exchange for some charms is 100% worth it. Now, the greater equipment and accessory charms function essentially the same way, except you have to use cores as the ingredient material. If you do not know how to acquire this material, it's quite simple. All you have to do is go to your gear inventory, press arrange, and then select any level 58 and up pieces of gear that you do not plan on using, and choose to extract. Now for this one, I would recommend using the cores from the more common 2-piece sets such as critical, resist, hit set, etc. Since you want to hold on to the more valuable 4-piece sets ones, such as speed, counter, destruction, etc. And you'll see why in just a minute. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this laboratory, an amazing way of getting extra charms per week. Next, we have the crafting materials laboratory. Here, you can essentially use low-level hunt crafting materials to convert them into higher-level hunt crafting materials. So let's say you spent a lot of time farming Wyvern 1, but then you got stronger and now moved on to farm Wyvern 7, for example. Well, now you have no use for the low-level materials you acquired in Wyvern 1, so just bring them here and use them to craft yourself some higher rarity Wyvern materials. Keep in mind that at first, some of the higher crafting tiers will be locked, but you get to unlock them simply by beating the different levels of hunts. So you can't simply just farm Wyvern 1 for all of eternity and then use those materials to craft the highest level rarity of hunt materials without ever beating, Wyvern 8, 9, 10, 11, etc. But yeah, that's all this laboratory will mainly be for. Moving on, we have the equipment conversion laboratory. This one is amazing. This is one of the best ways of obtaining specific gear with a specific main stat that you want. But for that, you first need to have equipment conversion gems. These gems are what allow you to select the main stat of the specific piece of gear you want to create. The main ways that you can obtain equipment conversion gems is via your guild, by visiting the shop, doing the world boss, and completing your weekly missions. Also from your expedition depot and the transmit stone shop. Once you select the piece of gear and the equipment conversion gem for the main stat that you want, you then have to use the cores from the set that you wish to create. This is why I suggested for you to use the cores from sets that aren't particularly important whenever you're crafting your charms during our look at the previous charms laboratory, so that you can use your cores from speed set and other useful sets during this process. And once you select the course to complete the process, you can then craft the piece. For this process, I 100% recommend for you to reach the highest quality grade, since you do not want to spend your course and equipment conversion gems on legendary or rare pieces of gear. Definitely go for that epic tier. Alright, next we have the Catalyst Laboratory. This one, fairly simple. You use this lab to use catalysts that you might have an overwhelming amount of or don't plan on using at all, to then use them as ingredients to craft catalysts that you might be in dire need of. You can create both rare and epic catalysts. However, I would recommend to use this as a last resort, since even if you have a bunch of a specific catalyst and it might not affect you to use it as an ingredient right there and then, you never know when you will need to use a ton of that catalyst later on, so keep that in mind. Okay, exclusive equipment. In order to understand this one, we need to know where we can obtain these items in the first place. So, if you didn't know, you're able to obtain exclusive equipments from the Hall of Trials exchange shop. If you're a newer player, you probably don't have this unlocked yet. This will open up once you reach account level 40 or 50, something like that. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, once you unlock Hall of Trials, don't be afraid to jump in, okay? Even if you get a super low score, you can still earn the Wisdom Gaze currency to then buy whichever exclusive equipment that you want. So don't be like me and wait like 6 months to jump in just because you might be scared of not being powerful enough. But yeah, just do it, trust me. Even getting the bare minimum score will go a long way. But yeah, going back to the exclusive equipment laboratory, here you can craft the exact exclusive equipment that you want with the highest stat lines given that you achieve the highest quality grade. Now, the way you do that is by selecting exclusive equipments that you might have laying around as the ingredients. For this one, I would again recommend 100% to go for the highest quality grade possible, since not only will you get the highest stat line, but you will also be able to select which specific skill within the exclusive equipment you want to produce. If you're not aware, whenever you buy an exclusive equipment from the shop in Hall of Trials, it comes with a random skill out of the 3 possible ones, which isn't necessarily bad, but if you're looking for a specific one and you keep getting unlucky, this is the best way to secure exactly the one you want by offering up other exclusive equipments that you might have duplicates of or with lower stats. And finally, we have the Modification Gem Conversion Lab. Here, you can craft specific modification gems of specific sets that you want. However, this one can only be used twice a month for each set. As you can see here, I already crafted one speed set modification gem for the month. Now, the ingredients that you need in order to craft will come from extracting modification gems that you might not want. Just go to your inventory, over to the cores section, and select the modification materials. Here, you press arrange and select the mod gems that you want to extract. Once you do, you will get the modification cores. And once again, whenever you want to craft one of these modification gems, I would 100% recommend to reach the maximum quality grade possible, because not only will it produce a greater modification gem, but it will also allow you to choose exactly which substat you want the gem to be. If not, it will simply produce a random one. And that's it, guys. Very simple, am I right? Unfortunately, I know that a lot of newer players can't really make full use of these labs quite yet. However, they are definitely something to keep in mind and to look forward to when progressing through your account. And for mid to end game players, if you haven't made full use of these labs, then don't wait any longer. But that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope this was helpful to every single one of you, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Laters!